I'd like to call the Town of Cedar Lake Plan Commission public hearing, October 18, 2023, to order. Please rise for pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Here.
Mr. Foreman?
Present.
Mr. Hunley?
Here.
Ms. Dessauer?
Happily present.
Mr. Sharp?
Here.
Mr. Parker?
Here.
Mr. Capora?
Present.
Mr. Oliphant?
Here.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
Ms. Abernathy?
Present.
Ms. Heidick is present.
Okay, first I'd like to welcome Heather back to the commission.
Woo!
First item on the agenda is appointment to the Unsafe Building Department Committee.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Heather Dessauer to the unsafe building.
I second it.
Not even a breath in between that.
Yeah, I didn't there, you beat me.
We got a motion to appoint Heather back to the unsafe, by Mr. Parker, seconded by Mr. Hunley. Any questions? Yes, sir. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, sir.
Item number 2, Sail Tide Exteriors. Owner, Sail Tide Exteriors, 3239 Love Rock Avenue, Stager, Illinois, 60475. Petitioner Adam Alpine, PE, 398 East 400 North Valpo, Indiana, 46383. Vicinity of 13741 Osborne Street, Cedar Lake. Petitioner is requesting a site plan for a new business in the Lakeview Business Park. Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Don, didn't you and him used to be colleagues?
Yeah, we worked together.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
What, 13 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a
Something
while.
like that? It's been a long time. More than that.
Okay, so carrying on here.
Sorry about that.
Name and address, please.
Flashback.
Adam McAlpine, 398 East, 400 North, Valparaiso, Indiana. And here on behalf of my client, Vince Strasno, with Sail Tide Exteriors. As you recall, 2 weeks ago, we were here for the work session and presented on the project. My client owns a roofing company, currently in Stager, Illinois, and plans to move here to Cedar Lake, relocate his business, pass it on to his next generation, his 2 sons and wife work for the company as well. We're working with town engineer on the plan review process. We're not quite there yet. I have the latest review letter dated October 17th, so we'll clean some things up and get some things clarified so that it meets with the town's satisfaction. But here to answer any questions you may have, discuss the project more if you'd like, but that's about it.
What did you have to clean up there? And
The grading plan.
Oh,
there's
something done?
just some details, Mr. Oliphant.
Don?
Yeah, we got a resubmit on Monday. We turned it around yesterday. To be honest with you, I wish we were further along than this at this point, but there's nothing huge on here that's going to affect the land plan in any respects, so kind of up to you guys how you want to proceed tonight.
Just make contingent upon your
Yeah,
review.
we can do that.
I'd like you to kind of explain for the audience what your business is, because they're probably not aware that it's going in the industrial park on 41 and...
Sure, yeah, I can back up, certainly, Mr. Carnahan. So it's in the Lakeview Business Park, which is east of US 41. That's the Lakeview Business Park, and this is Lot 10, which is off of Osborne Street. You see the map, that's the highlighted parcel there. So it's set back within the business park, and so that's what's called a planned unit development, so it has its own development standards and guidelines. And so this is, I don't know how many other businesses are back in there right now, but it's a great company, good roofing company. It's been in business for about, I think, over 20 years. And and they'll be relocating here.
And you're not gonna store a bunch of stuff out there to make it look like a junkyard, you already said
No,
that.
exactly. From what I heard, things will be stored indoors. There is some area for exterior storage, but it sounds like the product he gets goes to the job sites, and the foremen who work for him go take their trucks home, and they go from job to job. So, yeah.
It's a roofing company, they do commercial, single-ply roofing. All their materials will be delivered to the job site. All on-deck equipment will 99% of the time stay on the job site, on the roof being used. Any storage at the property site is to be inside. They will have a concrete pad outside that they can store some items on, but they have to stay on that pad. And, am I missing anything?
You vetted this already.
Pardon?
You vetted this already.
Well, yeah, I know, but he wanted to, Bob wanted to explain to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, so. Okay, building department, any comments or?
At the last meeting, it was asked about if the parking was adequate when the owner of the contracting company said that there's only going to be 10 employees working out of that office. For our ordinance, it would only require a minimum of 5, so by having 10 parking spaces, one of which is in a handicap parking space for 11, they are at and exceeding our minimum requirements for parking on that property. And as you stated, they are for the commercial contracting, and it fits within the PUD guidelines, which allows for commercial and industrial businesses in that area. It's on the backside that's abutting up to the industrial portion of our other newer commercial industrial business park in the town of Cedar Lake, and commercial uses are allowed by PUD in this area for construction.
And there will be a total of 18 businesses in there eventually, and the 3 in the front will be like a commercial type regular business, and the rest in the back 15 will be light industrial.
Okay, commissioners have any discussion?
No, sir.
If none, then I'll entertain a motion on this item, and in your motion, please include contingent upon Don's review from his letter, or Don's letter and review of it.
Am I missing the letter from the most recent letter?
Just went out yesterday.
Okay, so the 30th is the last letter?
Yes.
So how does the most recent letter look in comparison to the 30th? Because there is a ton of stuff on that.
Like I said, I wish we were further along with the recent submittal, but there's still a fair amount of comments on here.
I mean, fair, like, this is what, 3 pages?
3 pages.
That's a lot. So what does the new one look like?
A couple have come off. I'll say 7 or 8 came off entirely.
7 or 8 items.
Yes.
So we're still at like 2 pages.
We're still around 3.
Got it. Sir, do you feel like you're in a spot that we should be voting on this tonight?
I think so. Some of the, I mean, it's a 4-page letter, but he makes record that items are addressed within that 4-page letter. Just for record purposes, he keeps it on there and he says this other.
Sir, I know how it works. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I would think with chasing the weather, it would probably be advantageous, and I'd be willing to make a motion contingent on Don's 1017 letter with a favorable recommendation for seal-tight exterior site plan.
Have we not got out of the practice of making things contingent?
It's contingent on the 1017 C-Bell letter, which Don just mentioned. Christopher Burke Engineering.
I know what it is. Thanks. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And we've been doing that.
It's this time of year, they get a little bit started, waiting till November 1st, that's a motivation behind the motion, so that's my motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Foreman, do we have a second? Do we have a second?
It's important to encourage people to move to our community. Spend a lot of money building a building.
It's important to have procedures that we follow as well.
Engineer said he was fine with the contingencies, if we so choose.
And there is
By
no,
commission body.
I'll second his motion.
Motion second by Mr. Parker. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Stetauer?
No.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 6-1.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck to you guys.
Number 3, should be number 2, I think. Cedar Lake Storage, requesting alteration to previous approvals. Hello, Nathan.
Evening, Mr. Chairman. Nathan Vissier, 12632 Wicker Avenue, on behalf of Cedar Lake Storage. Good evening to the commission this evening. I may be familiar with this project. My clients are at plan study session. A couple of weeks ago, we were at the BZA. A week ago, this is a project that my clients took on back in 2020, 2021. It was the building an entranceway into town is in foreclosure. Various stages of bankruptcy as well as litigation. They were able to purchase it, and they've been making significant improvements. They've been before you in the past couple of years with a proposed development plan for it. We're on the cusp of achieving that development plan. Pickup this past summer has been on the way to finishing it, the development of one of the buildings, and subsequent to that was supposed to be the paving of the back portion of almost an acre in size. And so what my clients have requested is the ability to be allowed to conduct some outdoor storage over the winter months here before they complete the paving next spring. At the BZA meeting last week, what was approved at that level was basically a 9-month temporary variance to allow up to 20 units on the gravel area. They must be paid by the September 15 deadline. They must extend an additional $10,000 to their line of credit so that there's a backdrop there to ensure that if the town does need to enforce the line of credit, there's sufficient monies to allow for moving them back and forth to the tow company. In addition to that, the BZA also requested monthly verification with pictures to Ashley to verify they were not exceeding that amount, and then a request that this be put on the BZA and Plan Commission June, July, and August agendas so that we can stay on top of it to ensure that they are completing it, and then verify if we do need to pull the trigger on that line of credit, you can before the winter months.
And you also had where they couldn't get the asphalt companies in to do the work, and so you're scheduling that as soon as they open in April, correct?
Mr. Carnahan, that is correct. As soon as we can get on their agendas and schedules, that is absolutely correct.
They were told that they have to get hot on that, the earlier the better. That was part of the approval at the BZA, that don't wait until July.
Right. Yeah, but they've expressed to me they have no intention of doing it, so I've seen the correspondence back and forth with the companies, so. Seeking your approval of what was also approved at the BZA then this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Don, do you have anything on this?
Yeah, at the last meeting, we were kind of tasked to figure out what, I guess, would go above and beyond the letter of credit that's currently posted. So we kind of did a quick analysis about how many spots they could potentially fit on that gravel area. Based on the proposed site plan, it would be about 20, but you can see in the current aerial, this is only about a month old. What's out there now, they got about 13 out there now. 20 would be from their site plan. I think they probably can get several more than that out there. Ashley did some research about kind of towing costs, between cars, RVs, boats, kind of what we're showing out there, and it ranges anywhere from $100 to $250 a pop. So depending on how many spots you think they can get out there, probably above the 20, I would set a letter of credit increase based on whatever math you want to do. So if it's 20 at $250 a pop, it's 10 grand extra, and that goes up from there. And I would, if you do approve this, I would set a hard deadline for that paving. Because if they're serious about paving it as early as they can, they'll get on their schedules now.
They had
And there won't be any
they probably have it here somewhere. They were given a hard deadline at the BZA.
Yes, that's correct. September 15th.
September 15th was the hard deadline.
Well, that's the original deadline from the original approvals.
And if it's not on the move, and that's the discussion that was had, if it's not on the move, say by June, July, we're probably gonna be looking at pulling on that letter of credit.
Well, I think we need to set that date then, not the
June.
September date, earlier.
Earlier than that?
Something earlier. I mean, the September date is their original approval when they have to have it paid by, assuming they didn't park anything either.
So what do you think, 30 days, 60 days,
I think it should be June 1st.
June 1st?
I think that's plenty of time if they get on schedules now to get it paid. It's not a long job, it's not a big job. They can get on a contractor schedule with this much lead time.
They were given a hard number too, it was the maximum of 20, right?
That is correct, and if we look at here, I think just because I'm hearing some comments behind me, if you look at the upper right-hand corner, that actually is concrete, that's
Yeah, I didn't
the upper
include that.
right-hand side. No, I know you
Yeah.
did, but I know there's, up here, folks that are counting here. So the upper right-hand side is hardened concrete, so what we're talking about is
Yeah, and
the
that was
bottom left.
existing, so you were allowed to park there.
Right.
But that they'd be,
And also said that they'd take a panoramic shot of the parking lot and send it to us so that they can see that they're not in violation of having over 20 parked on the stone.
Correct,
That was to be monthly,
correct. Yep, starting now.
sorry, no.
Ashley, is this shot from that new software that we
That
purchased?
is
So they do it every other month or every month?
about
3 times a year, so
Okay.
about
Almost.
April, May is the first one, sometimes June, July
June, July.
2nd, October, September, October is the 3rd.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
And for the rest of you that don't know, that's called near map. And we paid $44,000 for a 3-year contract. They've already got that stuff already taken, and they update us with a new map whenever the new one comes out.
So I think to 2 points there. One, as Mr. Parker's indicated, we do have a process every month where we're going to remit fixtures, as well as it also sounds like the town has their own format they can do an aerial overview. If we do need to increase the line of credit, per Mr. Oliphant's suggestion, I think add another 10,000 to it for 20,000. Personally, I think it's overkill, but if that makes the town comfortable, I think my clients will agree to that. In regards to the June 1 deadline, I'd say we meet in the middle and do it July 1st. Again, my clients can't control what the contractors are going to be doing, and I think if you can't have it done by July 1, that's sufficient time for the town to work with pulling the line of credit and trying to get a contractor of their own, but there is more than ample line of credit to ensure that it gets done.
And do they have a contract with asphalt people?
They're working with 2 right now, finally.
The only caveat to that is, for me, and I'm basing that on Don's concerns and the way he's looking at me. If for some reason they can't get in the construction schedule next year, I suppose that's probably not gonna be a good argument to come back in here for another extension. So if they're starting to schedule things in March, they probably need to get on it in March, or
earlier.
Are you okay,
I mean, if they're having discussions now, they will be on their schedule for next year.
that's,
So they will not be pushed that far.
oh, I see.
Plan to open end of March, early April, depending on weather. Plenty of time to grade the site and get it down.
And you say it's not a big job, right, Don?
As long as it's ready to go as far as subgrades, they can knock that out probably in a long day.
Okay.
So June 1, that's what you're at.
Well, it might be 2 days, we gotta put down binder first.
I like the July date because they usually don't open up to April, and that only gives them April and May, and if you go June 1st,
Why don't we split the difference and make it June 15th?
Sure.
Work?
That's fine.
Just for clarity, why did this go to the BZA and then here?
It appeared at the Plan Commission, back on the September work session, requested deferral to the October work session. They were present at the October work session, requesting, to change the previous approvals to use a gravel. And because the zoning ordinance does not allow for any parking on gravel, even if there is a temporary approval granted by the Plan Commission, they still needed the variance. So that's why they went in front of the BZA as well, because they needed the variance
Got it.
in order to park there.
Thank you.
what should have happened, Heather, is during the development plan process that got passed at this level,
I remember that,
my
yeah.
client should have pushed to allow temporary use during the build-out process, which is what you typically do on a build-out plan. It wasn't, came in late, clash of legal minds. I tried convincing Dave that we could do it only through here. He said, no, you gotta come through BZA. Dave wins, so.
Most of the time.
They had moved ahead and parked 20 units back there prior to any, variances or anything.
I was at the BZA meeting, I remember that.
Okay.
So Dave, if I make a motion on this, it should be to approve the temporary alteration to the previous approval, or should it be because the variance was already,
To amend the variance approval that was already given.
to amend the variance approval?
It's part of the site plan.
I'm trying to remember everything that was discussed, and I know it was a maximum of 20 units.
Yes, we've modified now September 15 to June 15. An additional 20,000 to line of credit. Monthly verification pictures to building department. And then I guess what's gonna need to happen is, why don't we do an April and May appear on this agenda in BZA for updates? Makes
We'll
sense.
start it in March, because that'll be 3 months. March, April, May.
My request would be is if we can show that we're under contract, that my clients or I don't have to appear 3 straight months, as long as we've got a showing that we're under contract and it's being planned, would be my suggestion.
Okay, let me try to cobble this thing together.
Go for it.
Make a motion to approve an amendment, I make a motion to approve a temporary approval to the amendment based on an additional 20,000 to the letter of credit, monthly photos to be submitted to Ashley to make sure that there's no more than 20 units, maximum of 20 units with a deadline of June 15th
For paving.
For paving completion.
for paving completion. Am I missing anything?
That's what I had,
I'll second that motion.
Nathan.
Yeah, that's fair. I think just gotta clarify, it's 20 units on the gravel.
20 units on the gravel,
Right.
yes.
Yep.
I concur.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Parker, and a second by Mr. Foreman. Do we have any questions?
I had a couple of comments that I would like to have made contingent upon your motion if Mr. Parker and Mr. Foreman are agreeable to amending them. I need them to complete their occupancy permit requirements for the building department. Those are still outstanding. They can talk to us, they've been and talked to us. And I need them to talk to me about the U-Hauls. They were not approved previously. So we need to have a conversation about the U-Hauls.
It's gonna be contingent on Ashley's comments too, and they need approvals for everything that they do over there, and you need to see her first.
Thank you.
I still concur.
Is there a timeline attached to that?
Pardon me?
Why don't they have occupancy?
It's been a,
That hasn't been mentioned before, so.
They had their final inspection though,
for
4
the
weeks.
whole barn.
Right, what are you waiting for the occupancy for? The building up front?
This, if they got approval, because the approval, they had never been approved for gravel, and it was during one of the final occupancy inspections that it was revealed to a building inspector, who is unfortunately no longer with us, that they were parking on the gravel, and that was not in compliance with their approvals. It then got brought to their attention that they couldn't be parking on the gravel. They asked for relief from that, and they were told that they had to see the Plan Commission and the BZA. So in order for them to get occupancy finalized, we needed to know if the Plan Commission and BZA would be an approval of them parking on the gravel.
So procedurally, tonight was important before they can, I think that's important.
Yes.
Gotta be
So
clarified.
the occupancy
We
can't be given until this motion is
Sure.
approved.
Correct.
Okay.
Dave, you look like you had something to add. You got something to add?
No, I think that these items, though, should have a time period, a reasonable time period, because they're business completion matters.
Ashley's items.
Ashley's items just mentioned.
10 days?
10 business days.
That good enough?
Yeah, that would make it, if you guys can do that.
Yeah, and if it couldn't have happened until tonight's meeting, it makes logical sense.
Right.
I'll add 10 days for everything to get squared away with the building department.
Again, concur. Place looks good, by the way, tell them, they've done a nice job. It was quite an eyesore for many years, it's great to see.
There's over $1 million new dollars of investment there that's gonna end up in the public taxpayers' dollars as well, so that's a great benefit to the town.
It is, they did a great job.
Okay, any questions on the motion?
It's a complicated one.
Kind of. Two.
One hard to repeat.
If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Stetshauer?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
All right, thank you.
Number
You got
4.
something simpler, I hope.
Hope so.
He never has anything simple. Go ahead. Commonwealth Electric Site Plan. Owner, Hen Holding Commonwealth Electric, 13733 Wicker Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner, Rob Hen and Son Construction, 13733 Wicker Avenue, Cedar Lake. Vicinity of 13741 Alexander Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting a site plan approval for a residential commercial electric contractor shop in office for lot 21 in the Riverside Business Park.
Is this number 2? Anybody else?
First one.
This is number 1?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Jack Halls with DVG at 1155 Troutwine in Crown Point, Indiana. We're here representing the petitioner, Rob Hen. He's also present this evening for lot 21 in the Railside subdivision. We had a conversation at our last work study session about the final plat that has been recorded and delivered to the town.
It has a legal description.
So lot 11, or excuse me, lot 21 exists legally. There's a tax ID number currently established for that. Don had, subsequent to that meeting, had completed his review, and we have addressed all those review comments, and you have in front of you, I believe, a letter from him. There was one item that I thought we had addressed, and that was that pipe material. If that was omitted, that's an oversight on my part. But I believe we're ready to have this considered by you. This is a pole barn type building, industrial use in the industrial area of the PUD. It is a residential and commercial electrical contractor business. There will be a small amount of parking for visitors to come to the site, potential vendors, that kind of thing. There'll be a fenced area. There's parking there. The entire site is paved. We have a photometric plan which we showed that conforms to your lighting standards. We have a landscape plan that accompanied our submittal. So I believe everything is in order for your consideration this evening.
Don, do you have anything?
We had another late letter to the game on the 17th yesterday, but no, this one's much cleaner than the first one. I think we just have 3 minor contingencies related to their MEP plans, like Jack said, a pipe material, and then just if there are renderings available, which I don't think there is. So, but now I think it's ready to go, pending those 3.
Only 3?
1017
Pretty
letter.
small. These little mini guys should go that quickly. 1017 letter, yeah.
So MEP plan rendering and what else?
Just the pipe material change.
Yeah. And I thought actually I'd caught that one, so I don't, that's my
All
bad,
good.
so I knew that comment was on there.
Two numbers.
Yeah.
Building department, anything?
It fits within the approved PUD plan for the subdivision. It's gonna be one of the industrial lots, and it's actually a little bit exciting. We have 2 site plans that have been in front of the plan commission, one in each of our brand-new industrial commercial subdivisions.
Very good. Commissioners, anything?
No, sir.
If no questions, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I'd make a motion to approve Commonwealth Electric site plan contingent on Christopher Burke, engineering, 101723, letter consisting of the MEP plans, the renderings, as well as the pipe material change that Don mentioned during his description.
Motion made by Mr. Foreman. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Ms. Deschauer. Any questions? No questions, roll call.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes?
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Detzauer?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Sephora?
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you very much for your time, and it's also good to see on behalf of the town that these industrial subdivisions are starting to get business, and that's a win for the town, so.
Hopefully they keep going, chasing interest rates, that's the worry we all have. Good luck to
Okay.
the Commonwealth.
Update items. Building regulations and fee amendment. Mr. Salatas isn't here, so we'll just,
We're still waiting on any feedback from any plan commission members, so if you have any comments on what was presented, I think you provided that in June. Please let me know if you need it recirculated again, please let me know, that way we can see if we can start getting this item moved forward.
If you would recirculate it, I think that would be great.
Sure.
Thank you.
number 2, Beacon Point East, line 3, performance letter of credit expires November 5th, 2023.
John, I believe Ashley reached out to you about this one, about doing a special public meeting November 1st. They're finishing up some minor concrete items, and they literally have a crosswalk to stripe and a stop bar, and then they'll be done, but they won't be ready, well, they're not ready today. So, if that's still true, I'll be tied off and rotated into maintenance November 1st.
And will that be reducing their cost?
Yes, this rotates into a maintenance letter of credit for a period of 3 years, so it drops the cost of that unit down to 10%. That number will be $42,226.69.
And will that cover everything that potentially needs to be done in there?
Yes, this is a small phase. This is their second entrance. Essentially, it's just that road. The sanitary in that road is included in other phases, so this is just roads, water, and stormwater. That's it.
So the cleaning of that ditch and stuff is in there. I understand that I had a resident tell me that Dyer Construction is going to do it, but they can't get in there till the spring.
Yes, so that's actually included as part of units 1 and 2. They are also number 7 and 8 on this agenda, so that will be covered in that. Those are still in performance and will remain in performance until that's done.
Okay, so if all goes well, we're gonna have a special meeting at the work session to approve the change to maintenance letter of credit due to the fact the letter of credit expires on November 5th.
I would also advise setting a poll date of October 31st, right before that meeting, just in case they don't have it done, to authorize your town attorney to pull on it, because November 5th is a Sunday.
Can that be handled in a special public meeting?
No, because that's the day before.
October.
The day before.
It needs to be last week of October.
So, I mean, unless David's comfortable with a Thursday, Friday poll.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so we can wait and make that, if we have to make that motion, we'll make it next meeting at the special public meeting.
Okay. Number 3, Rose Garden Estates, Unit 2, performance letter of credit expires December 9th, 2023.
Ongoing, we have our punch list done, it's lengthy, so we're still putting it all together in a summary letter. I expect them to renew at some dollar amount, probably full. But a lot of these repairs probably will be made next spring, and they're probably not gonna have time to make the repairs to surface it this year.
Don, how much is this one?
This is 2, so 3 to 4 million, I'm guessing, probably, big guess, the middle chunk. It's probably about half the unit 1, which is just over 6.
How many months is your recommendation to extend it?
I mean, that's up to them. They've been extending them for a calendar year. I imagine that's what they're gonna do again.
I'm sure I'll see it sometime within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, they have potentially just send it.
Gotcha.
Okay, number 4, Ledstone, maintenance letter of credit expires December 7th, 2023.
So Public Works issued their punch list on the 26th for that one. We issued ours on the 29th. It's my understanding that they are addressing those items now. I hope that's ready to go by the November public meeting, because then they'll be snowed out and they'll have to extend it. So I expect that. I mean, it's a maintenance letter of credit too, so they need to get it done.
Okay.
They should have plenty of time. Should.
Item 5 and 6, can you combine that, or, no?
Heard nothing.
Yeah, Ashley reached out to Armani, who is the developer. We haven't heard anything. So, I mean, we got enough time on that one. We'll revisit again next month and see where they're at. But they've got some paving items they need to do before they can put service down. And I don't think they're at the 80% threshold yet either.
Okay, I didn't read that for Summer Winds Unit 2 and Unit 3.
Yes, I did the same for 5 and 6.
This needs to stay on your list, though.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7, Beacon Point East, Unit 2, performance letter credit expires January 30th, 2024. Can we do 1 with that also?
Yeah, we can do 1 and 2 together. Those were extended, I believe they expired, in June, so they extended them for 6 months. I don't think they're gonna get either one of those done. Like Bob was saying, the detention reshaping is in Unit 1, so that one most certainly will not be rotated around. It's my understanding McFarland is still working on concrete items. So, if they don't get those done by the time we start shutting down for winter, they'll most likely have to extend that into the spring. They'll definitely have to extend Unit 1 in the spring.
Have they started the detention reshaping?
No. I think the hope was to get it done this year, but the fear was that it'd be pushing too far into the fall where we're outside of seating windows.
Gotcha.
So I think the thought is we'd rather just do it all in one foul swoop. If we could do it in the spring, it's a great time to grow grass. I would hate for them to start redigging side slopes and then they erode out because we can't get stuff to grow on it right now.
Smart.
So I understand this is pressing, people want it done, but I think it's better for everybody that it be done in the proper time and proper time frame.
He also told me that the slope will be 5 to 1 and that they requested mowable grass.
Yes, we gave them a choice of mowable or non-mowable kind of native grasses, but they picked mowable, so it'll be a turf grass.
Okay.
Okay, number 9, Beacon Point Unit 1A, maintenance letter credit expires January 30th, 2024.
It's my understanding they only have, so they've had our punch list since June. On this one, we got it out pretty early just to get ahead of it. My understanding, the only items they have left are crack sealing. So we're kind of in that season as well, so they need to get that stuff done. We'll reach out back to them and have an update for you in 2 weeks.
Okay. And number 10, Beacon Point Unit 2, maintenance letter of credit expires January 30th, 2024.
Same thought, they're kind of together. They're units that are adjacent to each other, so they're gonna do it all at once.
Okay, in the updates. Public comment.
Hold a second. Please, I know there's some people here tonight that, were concerned about red cedars, and I think we should talk about that just for preparation for the next meeting. There was a request for the Plan Commission to, was it, Ashley, can you elaborate on that, review a revision?
They submitted new plans. They removed all but one townhome that is going to be in the upper quadrant. It's all single family now. I talked with the special attorney for the town, for this item, from Barnes and Thornburg, and his recommendation was to make a motion to pick this off the table so that it could be then brought back to the Plan Commission at a work session and discussed.
When did that happen?
They submitted a wetlands delineation report 2 weeks ago, and then updated engineering plans came in Monday.
Yep.
Can you elaborate more on the new plan? You said all single family except for one townhome?
Which will be for his grandchildren.
And what's the lot size now? What's the coverage for units?
I don't care to discuss this. This is on the table. I don't want to discuss this any further than what is discussed now. They were requesting to have a agenda item tonight. It wasn't advertised for that. The information didn't get to us in a timely fashion. It was supposed to be here by noon last Friday. It wasn't. So I am not going to entertain that.
You know what, I concur.
That's it. Now, if somebody wants to say something under public comment, that's up to them. But this commission is not gonna discuss it any further.
David, since the proposed, I guess their proposed zoning and concept plan has changed so much since last submittal, they have to file an entirely new application, don't they?
Very likely.
Okay.
We have a lot of questions up here, and we need to discuss that
Yeah, I haven't
at a
seen that.
different time.
I haven't even looked at it yet.
Okay, back to public comment. Any public comment?
Jerry Wilkening, 10826 West 131st Avenue, Cedar Lake. Is this the north side of Red Cedars? The north side of 145th?
For which,
What you're talking about?
yes,
Everything.
Okay,
that's on the family portion.
okay, all right, thank you.
Any other public? If you got a comment, come up to the podium, please.
In that way. You like sitting over there, huh?
It's for disabled people. I'm the only disabled person here, I guess.
I like it.
Ken Dashiell, 14321 Lakeshore Drive. I was doing some studying on this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been brought to my attention, a few other people, that if he bypasses the table tonight, he could come in on a work session and present an entire new bill and get it approved there, bypassing all of us. Is this true?
No, sir. Work sessions are just that. They're just work sessions. And due to the fact that none of us have seen these plans, if it is brought back into a work session, it'll be vetted, and it's probably every bit of months out.
Okay, that was my thought, because there's still question over the townhouse that he's putting on his property
Right.
and the mansion he's putting on his property. And I believe the townhouse is just an entrance road. I really do.
I'll expect to see it next month.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Anybody? Seeing none, public comment?
Hey, hold on a
No.
second.
Pardon?
We have one hand raised online.
Okay.
Jennifer, you can speak.
Jennifer?
I think she's muted herself. She's allowed to talk on our end.
Jennifer, I think it's F2 on your, if you're on a laptop, to unmute possibly.
Hold on a second.
Is that mine?
Clip's doing something.
Can she hear us, Don?
Should.
Can we text questions? No. You could text her and say, hey, we can't hear you.
Well, she should be able to hear us. No problem. So she's muted on her line. I don't know.
Is there a delay on this meeting?
Couple seconds, Fred, but not much. Maybe a second.
I texted her, let her know.
I'll give her a couple more minutes. Go from there.
And she dropped off.
Darn it, I waited too long.
Jerry Wilkening, 10826 West 131st Avenue. Will there be an announcement to the public for the next meeting? It's a work session, right?
November 1st.
November 1st.
Yeah.
November 1st work session.
Pardon?
November 1st work session.
Work session, yes.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
thank you.
November 1st work session at 6 PM.
Okay, and a special meeting in the beginning or the end, right? Or-
Special meetings we have at the end.
Only for letter credit, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, apparently Jennifer's not,
Nope.
No,
She's no longer online.
public comment is closed. Like I said, next plan commission work session November 1st, 2023 at 6 PM. Meeting's adjourned.
Nicely done, John.